Well, I've had a very bad turn of events, a bad outcome, a worst case scenario. I'm going to tell you about it, and then I'm going to tell you about how it changes everything and the direction of the fish room. So let's go ahead and get right into it. It has to do with this aquarium here, this 55-gallon aquarium, where I had put a divider in and had separated a female and a male feste. The female needed about 6 months to a year, maybe even longer, because they are such slow growers, to get to a size where I could actually put them on the same side of the tank and have them try to pair up to breed. So I figured I'd go ahead and keep them in the same tank. They could at least be aware of each other. But what happened is the small feste, the female red tear, started digging. I didn't think it was going to be a problem because the gaps between the divider and the tank were very, very small. And every time I would see a mound where she had dug, I would go ahead and cover it up. Well, as it turns out, she was able to dig deep enough and far enough, and somehow, I don't know how, somehow squeezed herself through what must have been a 1/4 inch of gap and got into the side of the tank with the large red tear. He proceeded, as I knew would happen if she ever got over there, he proceeded to destroy her, to beat her up pretty bad. And I spent a lot of time in the fish room, so it must have been like either at night or when I was preoccupied doing something else, but I would have heard the chases and the splashes, so it had to have happened when I wasn't in the fish room. When I found her, she was in very, very bad shape, still alive, tucked up behind behind the filter, behind the Expertmatic filter, gasping and with really a lot of damage to the body. Fins were shredded. The side of the body looked like she'd taken some very hard hits. I'm pretty sure she had internal damage. I scooped her up very quickly, put her back into the right side of the aquarium, but I knew by looking at her, I knew that she probably wouldn't last, and by the next morning she was gone. That's a lot of time that was spent growing her up. A lot of time that was going to be spent in further growing her out, and then going through the process of possibly having them pair up, or he might have gone after her and damaged her even at a larger size. He's just not a fish that plays nice. There's a couple directions I could have gone with that. I could go find another female, and the females that are out there, female festes that are out there, tend to be a few inches and would probably need about a year to grow out to be big enough to pair up with this large male. Looking at what I have here in the fish room, what my plans are, I've decided to go a different direction, and this is going to change things, and it's a bit of a heartbreaking decision, but it's one that I think I have to make. With my apologies to my friend Whip, who got me into these red tears. I think I'm going to have to rehome the male, get the male over to a new home where perhaps he can find a much bigger tank to live in, maybe a 200 to 300 or more gallon tank where he could possibly get along with other fish, or maybe even be in a solo inhabitant type situation. He's a beautiful fish. He's just too aggressive for the 210, and I just don't want to put the year and a half in for a project that could result in him killing the female anyway. I'm going to go ahead and rehome him, and then I'm going to take this tank, this 55-gallon, and I'm going to put another Another one of those Higer hang-on back filters. It was already sent to me by Higer, the Higer bilateral. There's one on there now, and it's running phenomenally well. And this filter does 264 gallons an hour, or 1,000 liters an hour. So two of them on the 55 gallons is going to provide a tremendous amount of filtration. I'm going to take out the Expertmatic because it provides too much water circulation for the fish I'm going to be putting in this tank. I'm also going to be adding to this tank, I just picked up another green killing machine, and this is that it's a 24 watt internal UV that provides a tremendous amount of water clarity and quality by helping with the elimination of viruses and bacteria and things of that nature. So I'll add the second hang-on back. I'll put the UV sterilization unit in there. I'll take out the Expertmatic, and then this will be the tank. This 55 gallon will be the tank where the discus will go into, and it'll be at first a discus only species tank. So they will quarantine, if you will, and continue to live exclusively in this 55 gallon aquarium, which I'm going to fill up with just discus. I'm also going to be adding a much more powerful heater, removing the heaters that are in there right now, which are maintaining the tank with 7 degrees in temperature outside. I have these tanks are, this tank is just under 78 degrees right now, which is pretty good. But with discus, you want to keep it a little bit warmer under all circumstances. So I'm going to be putting the Higer HGY0003, running it through a controller, and this is a very powerful heater. It's 1,000 watts, so it's going to has the capability of 1,000 watts. So this is going to do a real good job of keeping this 55 gallon at around 80 degrees to 82 degrees, which is where I want to keep it for discus. This will be a warm, UV sterilized, discus only aquarium at first, with the substrate that's in there right now, and really no decor. Over time, I'll start to add some wood and some live plants, but for right now, I'm just going to pull everything out of it except maybe for a rock that's in there, and just leave that in there. Add the UV sterilizer, the heater, and the extra filter, and I'll take that. I'll take the red tear over to the aquatic critter, along with a bucket full of pleco fish, and then in the beginning of February, I will go ahead and receive some discus that I'm discussing with Josh over at Cunningham Tropicals. Go ahead and put them in this 55 gallon and see how they do with my water conditions and with my filtering. This is a bit of a pivot with my plans. I really didn't have any real choice. I was very upset when I discovered what happened to that little Feste. I didn't take any pictures of her all beaten up. I didn't want you to have to see that. I'd rather that you remember her as she was, just a very pretty young female red tear. I was mad at the big red tear for about a minute, and then I realized, I go, you know what? I could have put some rocks along the base of the divider. There are things I could have done that could have prevented it, and I can't fault a big, large, aggressive cichlid for being a big, large, aggressive cichlid. That's how they roll. That's the story. I'm not going to try and hide it from you or keep it from you. That's not. This is a full disclosure YouTube channel. The bad news, of course, is that that project is going to be scrapped. The good news is that this aquarium is going to be now a discus tank, and will be able to be featured in the background in videos, and you'll be able to follow along as that project moves along and the discus put on size, and you'll be able to see them right after they arrive because they'll be in a prominent aquarium. You'll be able to see them right away while they're in quarantine. Okay, and really they're going to go from quarantine to permanent tank without having to move, so that's going to reduce their stress, and with the high level of filtration and heating, they should be in a very comfortable environment. So fingers crossed on that project. All right, so there you have it. Go ahead and share your comments below. I'd love to hear them, tips, ideas, and stay tuned so you can see what direction this goes in and how things progress with this 55 gallon. Okay, thank you for tuning in, my friends, and hopefully I'll see you on Saturday at the Cichlids and Coffee live stream. That's Saturdays, most Saturdays at 11 a.m. Central Time. And if you like the channel, if you'd like to support the channel, consider becoming a Patreon. It starts for as little as $3 a month. It really helps out a lot. And of course, subscribe, hit that bell, and do all that good stuff. And you know the drill. Talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.